Welcome back to the podcast. This week is the Wells Fargo. It's a designated event this year, so you got the top 50 players in the world playing in it. Rory's
McIlroy's
back,
back.
so
Yeah.
you can see if those last few weeks being off helped him out or hindered him more. So other than that, we're gonna go through the 10 rules that everyday golfers tend to ignore.
I'm pumped for this.
That was put out by Golf Digest. So we can talk about that and then see if there's any other rules that we decide to ignore in just everyday rounds. We also got our PGA Tour picks for this week. So we can go back to the normal scheduled one in the top 10, one outside, or one in the top 50, and then the sleeper pick. And then obviously we're ending this week's episode with a unpopular golf opinion from Reddit because that's how we're going to end things up now.
Until we get enough people on social media that offer their own unpopular golf opinions.
Yes, until they offer their own. So last week,
Dub.
last week you took the
It's a
dub.
big win for myself.
It's a big win for you. It's a big win for you.
Yes.
It's also a big win for Golf.
I guess he won as well.
I don't know what just happened. I can't hear you now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a loud buzzing.
Oh, Jesus.
That's better.
How about now?
Whatever you did worked.
I think my AirPods are fucked.
Okay, so it was a big win for you last week with Tony Finau. It's also a big win for the Garson boys. So he finished at minus 24, so you get an extra 5 strokes on that because you chose.
Yeah, so he finished at minus 29 for me.
Yep. I picked who I thought was going to be the winner because he was the only one that I thought would win in the field. John Rahm, who he was runner-up at 21 under par. So, again, a week where someone chooses the winner, someone else chose the runner-up.
Mm-hmm. What are the odds of that? We must know golf.
We do. We must know golf. Other than the fact that I chose Dylan Fratelli, and he shot a solid 9 over par for 2 days before getting cut.
Otherwise, you would have had a really good week if he didn't do that.
I would have had a really good week because Cameron Champ shot 14 under. So,
yeah. And my guys Streelman and Bramlett were 1 under. Streelman missed the cut, and Bramlett was 13 under. So, if you picked a guy that just was in at least the top 20, it would have been a lot closer of the day.
Like if I would have picked Akshay?
Yeah, don't pick him this week because he's just going to tank again. If he's not playing, is he?
He's playing this week.
Okay, don't pick him this week because then he's going to tank again. I don't even know what the field is.
The field is strong, but it's also very deep.
Deep.
Morikawa tees off tomorrow at 105. Cameron Young, Champ.
Can I say the featured groups that they've been having, at least, I don't know about where you watch most of your golf, but I get most of my golf on the TSN Plus because most of the time that I can watch golf, it's not on the Golf Channel or the regular channels. The featured groups suck. I don't know who's picking them. They're not the groups that I want to watch at all.
The best featured group of the year so far has been JT, Tiger, and Rory. That was...
Yes.
It was like the golf Father, Son, and Holy Spirit playing together.
That's pretty good. But most of the time, I turn on, so final round, I'm playing a little bit of video games, and I have my monitor next to me. I wanted to get the golf on. They weren't close enough to the end for me to turn it on and have to watch it with sound, so I just turned on the feature group feed, and it was a bunch of guys in T30. And I was like, what is going on right now? I want to watch Finau, Rom, and Akshay finish up, but no, it's a bunch of random guys.
No, just random guys.
So it's like,
It's
what are we doing out here?
it's the PGA Tour and struggling with marketing players.
Yeah.
Um, quick before we get too far off topic, just to recap. So you finish minus 43 for the week,
That's big.
and I finished minus 26. So that leaves you at minus 97 for the season, and I'm at minus 63.
Nice. I almost doubled my. I was at what, 52
Yeah,
last week.
yeah.
That
You
was a good
almost
pick.
doubled it. You almost hit
I've
triple
got a good
digits.
cushion. Almost. Hopefully, I can get into triple digits this week. If I don't, then there's an issue.
Yes, there's a big issue. Um, so with the recap from the Mexico Open, I don't know. I didn't see too much about it.
Again, it was another kind of vanilla week for the PGA Tour, but it was, I don't know. It was regular golf.
Yes, it was definitely regular golf. Let me see. There was something I noticed.
While you
Uh,
find that, I just thought of a little point. Do you think these designated events are taking a little bit of the like oomph out of the non like designated event weeks?
I'm
Where
unsure, really.
because
Um,
usually you don't get the heavy hitters all in one event all the time, but every once in a while you'll have this like an all right field, and then the field will be weak, and then everybody will be in it, and then a couple guys will be in it. But now I feel like it's either everybody's in it or nobody's in it. I don't. Do you agree?
uh, kind of, but not really. That
Okay.
because the Mexico Open again, you wouldn't have a full field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bay Hill, which is an elevated event, you would have majority of the fields going in because the next week is the Players. The
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, you're going to have a lot of people playing in it because it's Tigers tournament. Some of the other designated events that I can't think of off the top of my head, isn't it? What's Nicholas's tournament?
Oh, that one's is the Honda.
No,
What? No, why would it be a
Nicholas's
Honda?
tournament. It's in like
I don't know why I
it's like
immediately
right
thought of
after
Honda.
the PGA Championship.
Memorial.
Yes, the Memorial.
Founded and hosted by Jack Nicklaus. Why did I think it was the Honda? What drugs am I on?
Yeah, and the Honda is the one of the tournaments that not a lot of players would play in. So, kind of the designated
Yeah.
events are the ones that majority of the guys on tour would be playing anyways. So,
Mm-hmm.
do I notice a huge difference on how many people are playing in the field? Not really. The one that I kind of noticed it was um, the RBC Heritage because majority of the time before it was the week after the Masters, so people like Rory and it kind of gave them a break because they would travel home after the Masters. They will have a few weeks off because you'd have the Mexico Open, you'd have um, like a 2-3 week break before the Wells Fargo. But now they don't have that because the RBC is a designated event. So I think it's making them like play more, which is good, but it's not like draining the fields of other tournaments because those other tournaments would have been drained anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
It's like I'm trying
I
to
don't know. Maybe it's taken a little bit of like the fanfare out of it for me, I guess. But I just feel like the regular week to week watching hasn't been as exciting as I remember it being.
yeah, because I would say when you have more people in the field that are like higher quality and like higher up in the world rankings,
Mhm.
you tend to like have the idea that they're going to go out and shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you get into a tournament like this past weekend where the winner was Finau at -24, and you had like no one you knew, and it kind of brought some light to those guys who you didn't really
Yeah.
know who were shooting a gazillion under par for a weekend. Like, it's good to have some birdie fest type tournaments, but like not all of them should be birdie fests.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's like kind of some of these tournaments are, I kind of would say, is harder to watch just because there's less interest in them because of the fact they're not designated events now. But
Yeah.
the other thing is majority of the time, who would watch those ones specifically? Like,
That's true. That's they weren't the ones that you would circle on your calendar. That's for sure.
yeah, like the ones you circle on your calendar are the majors, the players, probably St. Jude, Memorial, Wells Fargo, Travelers, for us, Rocket Mortgage, stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm literally looking at Rocky Mortgage Classic tickets right now just because I was thinking about it.
I'm most likely going to go to the Wednesday practice round.
Nice.
Hang out with
Oh,
the
I
hang out with the boys from Wilson and hang out with Bernard Garson.
hmm. uh,
Maybe I'll get to meet Tony Finau. Who knows?
maybe that'd be pretty sick.
That would be sick. So Wells Fargo
Be good for the program.
preview time. So this is at Quail Hollow, which was, didn't it host the President's Cup last year?
Yeah, Quail Hollow was, and it also hosted. Was it the PGA? It hosted something in
It has
2017.
hosted many of tournaments, but I'm talking about last year. It's where the
Oh, just
President's Cup was.
specifically last year. Yes, the President's Cup was at Quail Hollow last year. They hosted. I'm pretty confident they hosted the PGA in 2017. But yeah, I remember um, Quail Hollow was for President's Cup because everyone was excited that Max Homa was going to be back at Quail Hollow because yeah.
Okay, so Quail Hollow has hosted the President's Cup in 2022, the PGA Championship 2017, Wells Fargo 2003 to present, the Kepler Open 1969 to 97, the World Seniors Invitational 1983 to 89, and then the greens are Bermuda.
Does that mean like so that I think we're looking at the exact same run? You're on the Wikipedia page, right?
I am.
So it says Greens Champion G12. Does that mean it's running at a 12 or
Yeah, it would be like their average is 12 on the stimp.
okay? Just
And then
wondering. I
fairways are
figured you know.
Bermuda grass. It's,
Rory McIlroy with a course record at 61. I didn't know that until looking at this. That's big. That might
par
be big for our
71,
picks this year.
7,600 yards. Course rating 77.2.
I have no idea what course rating or slope rating means.
So the course rating is from each tee box, whether it be like the championship tees or the red tees. There's a course rating corresponded. So if you took a scratch golfer and you played them from that tee box, what would they shoot?
Oh, so okay.
So from the championship tees, from 7,600 yards, a scratch golfer would shoot 77.2.
Okay. And then slope?
Slope is just so yardage and slope is what creates the kind of the course rating type thing.
Okay.
The
Cool.
higher the slope,
I
the more
never
difficult.
knew that. I've seen the numbers all over the place, and I've known that the higher the number, the harder the difficulty, but I've never known where it comes from. So
Yeah.
cool.
So
Good to know.
It's how you like. So if a scratch golfer was to shoot 77.2, according to my Golf Canada, me being a 1.6, I would be shooting like 78. that's kind of
Cool.
how it
All right.
works.
I got the definition of slope rating. If you'd like it, the slope rating of a golf course is a measure of its relative difficulty for a bogey golfer myself compared to a scratch golfer yourself. It is used by handicapping systems to equalize the field by accounting for the likelihood that when playing on more difficult courses, higher handicap players' scores will rise more quickly than their handicaps would otherwise predict. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's all part of the
Still don't know what the
handicap
number means,
system.
but yeah, that's a I don't know. It's a very storied course. It's I think that one of the first golf of like tournaments that I actually sat down and really was interested in was the PGA Championship in 2017. I remember watching that distinctly for some reason, so I must have really liked it. So yeah, I'm excited to watch these guys ham and egging around here again.
Yeah, my favorite hole's that par 3 in the back nine. Is it? I can't remember what number it is. The one that's over water and it's like 210 or something to the middle.
You know what par three I really hate? You just played at Orchard View last weekend, right?
No, I did not because the tournament got rained out.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But the par, I think it's 13 or 14. It's like a 215-yard par three with a big tree dead center in front of the green.
Oh yeah. That
That
one's
whole
that is just horrible course design right there.
It's the unnecessary. Orchard View is one of my favorite golf courses because it's the first golf course I played, so it's always got like that, like I don't know, nostalgia. And it's the first tee shot I always like because it's really elevated, it's really short, so you feel like you've hit the ball a mile on your first tee shot. But there's a couple holes at that course that just make my blood boil. I've
Yeah.
only ever thrown a club once, and it was on that par three.
Yeah, so that dog leg, is it 4, where it's like a very sharp dog leg? Hate that one.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Mm-hmm.
the par 5 where it's like almost like 350 to get to the corner.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, that par five, and then it's that annoying par five, and then right after is that par three.
yeah. And then you have like the easiest par 5 in the course. It's just dead straight. Just hit it straight. Don't put it on the street. You're good.
It's like the guy who designed the course felt bad and was like, "Here's just this.
Yeah.
Figure it out."
Yeah.
But that par five, that it's a 90-degree dog leg. It's 350 to the corner, and people would say, "Oh, just cut the corner." No, you can't. There's incredibly tall trees all the way up to the edge of that corner, so you can't hit a lofted enough club to carry those trees, and with the pond on the other side of the trees.
Yeah.
You have to lay up.
Yeah. Like,
and your layup, after you lay up, you still have like at least 200 yards in.
Yeah, it depends on where you
from the corner to the green,
where you can lay up to. Like if you get to that, like if you're on the right hand side of the fairway, you have a better shot of hitting like a 7-iron over the trees, over the pond, and have like 100 yards in. But you're not getting a 6-iron, you're not getting a 5-iron, 4-iron, even, or you won't get a hybrid or 3-wood to the green. So
us weekend hacks hitting a 7-iron, like hitting that shot with 7-iron is almost impossible.
Yeah, like
so.
I would say probably hitting a 7-iron, playing the ball up in your stance, you'll get a good layup number in, but you're still going to have a pitching wedge in versus having like I had a 30-yard chip like pitch shot into a par 5 when I went driver 3-wood and was short.
Yeah.
Whereas you can go driver layup and then still have more club in than you laid up with.
I was thinking about that course. That's what prompted me to write that courses being too hard for no reason in our one of our first episodes podcast notes. I wrote that in, and I was that's a dumb thing to talk about, but I don't know. It just popped up when you talked about that par 3 over water.
Yeah. So like with course design,
it's number 17 on the back nine.
Yes. Number
Quail
17.
Hollow, par
Um,
3, 223 yards, dead over water.
yeah. Justin Thomas hit a 7-iron onto that green from in the um, whatever President's Cup.
Jeez, that's
But
crazy.
it's also slightly downhill too, I believe.
Yeah,
So it
that's
plays
still
shorter than
like.
what it is. But
Could
it's
you
still
imagine a
like
regular
it's like
Joe trying to get
17 at
there?
Sawgrass, but on steroids.
Yeah, that's like like most to the average driver for some weekend guy is like 230. So that'd be a tough one for them.
Yeah, it would be. Um,
I'd spray it right anyways, but
yeah. Back to your point about courses being hard for no reason. If you think about it, Roseland, there's a tee box where from the blacks there is a tree that stands in front of like the kind of the front left of the tee box.
which hole?
It's the one right after the one with the dog leg with the church pew bunker. So I think it's 7. And then you got the par
Oh,
3, and then you got 9.
I need to look at it. I just played those in too.
Hold on, I got the yardage book somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yardage book from Roseland. I didn't even know they gave those out.
It was for the Toronto Players Tour event last year.
This is a random plug for Roseland. I don't know. Nobody affiliated with Roseland listens to this podcast, but they have the single best merch for a golf course that I've ever seen in this area.
So this would be
It's
6. I know you can't see it, but
yeah, I can't see it.
so on 7, it forces you off the tee to hit a cut for lefties, but you need to hit a draw for lefties because it brings that front bunker into play. Because it you can't. It's 272 to carry the bunker on the left.
Oh yeah,
So on the bunker on the left of the fairway, it's 272 to carry it. It's 250 to reach it. So you're me hitting a cut off
and
the tee.
look at the guarded green is crazy.
The green. You want to know what green complex I hate on that course?
Is it? I bet you I know exactly which one it is.
What one is it?
It is which hole is that? I think it's at par 4. Is it hole 3?
Yes, with that ridge in the
Aha.
middle. So
Yes.
Day 1 of Toronto Players Tour event, Rose City Open or whatever it's called. The pin was front right on that day. I landed it pin high on the left side of the green. So I had to go up the hill and come back down, and then I had the comebacker and missed the comebacker. So I 3-putted because I had to go up the hill and down. I was better off chipping it closer.
It's also like it's if you're hitting, there's no stop on that green. Everything either flies off the back or rolls way short. It's really hard. Like, it's a really hard green for an amateur golfer.
Yeah, it's really hard for
Okay,
some people to hold. Like, I mean, the tournament we were playing in is a pro tournament. It's Toronto Players Tour, so we
yeah,
are
people
holding
are
the
going to have
green.
no problem holding that.
But it's just how small the landing zone is when the pin's on either side of the ridge. It's very hard to score on that hole.
I was actually, when I played it, the guys that I was playing with, they were saying the same thing. They were complaining about the green complex, and I thought I pushed my driver up to the next, where the par 3 right after where their tee boxes are.
Yeah.
So my driver was just left of where those were in the rough, and I had a great look into the green because the green where the pin was, I had lot of green to work with, and I had that backstop at the back, and so I wasn't even thinking about how like tough the green was to hold because I could just fly it on, and then the ridge would catch it if I had a little bit too much on it. And so, but it would have been the hole would be so much better is if they just extended the dog leg a little bit, extended that landing zone,
Yeah,
and you could come in from the right, and you'd have much more of a landing zone onto the green. And it's because it slopes away from you and it angles away.
yeah. The other thing is, I don't think they have I don't think they've redone the green complexes like since the course opened. Like
No.
it's a Donald Ross design, so instead of refurbishing the golf course, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's the only public Donald Ross course. We gotta leave it the way Donald Ross left
Hmm.
it." Um, just because the high spots and low spots on greens over the course of the time, the low spots get lower and the high spots kind of just slowly get lower. So
Yeah.
over the course, that how that green complex is, it wasn't supposed to be that dramatic. Like look at 18, the green on 18. You have like the very back, which is really high, like a really high tier. Like I don't know why the tier is that high, and then it's like very flat in the front.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. If a course hasn't been touched up in a long time, it's not gonna. It's everyone's complaining about it not being Donald Ross's original, changing Donald Ross's original design, but it's not that anymore. It's changed itself just
Yeah,
based off nature.
and like they have all the dimensions and stuff like that. They can go out there and do like they can redo all the greens and do it the exact same way he did it. It's not that hard for them to kind of figure it out. um but when you said about golf course that has the best merch, have
Oh
you
my god,
seen
it's
any of
so good. Their
have you
rope hats and their logo.
have you seen any of Rochester Place's merch?
I haven't been in the Rochester Places club. I haven't played Rochester Place in a couple years, like 2 years.
Yeah, Rochester Place is good stuff. I got a hoodie.
Nice.
It's kind of
But
cool.
all the dogging on Orchard View and Roseland, they are. I do still love both those courses. So as
Yeah,
much as we're complaining about them, I really love Roseland, and Orchard View is sentimental to myself. So
yeah.
I will say that.
Roseland is where I'm doing my Ontario Amateur qualifier.
Oh, cool,
So June 5th, Roseland.
nice, coming up.
That's where I'm gonna be. But like as much as like Roseland bugs me, I would much rather play Roseland in a tournament than Ambassador.
Oh, I played Ambassador um, this weekend. That was a mistake.
Like Ambassador is a good course.
It's a beautiful course. A
It's
beautiful course.
beautiful course. It's long. It's good. Whatever. But I'm sorry to like you're gonna have the when the PGA Tour Canada event shows up. It's just gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be who can go lowest in the front, and then who can get to the par five on the back and two. That's who's gonna win that tournament.
Mhm. Yeah, I blew up so hard on the seventh hole because the fescue on that course is unbelievable. I'll take being in the trees over being in the fescue any day of the week. I could not get the ball out of there, and then well, their greens are very well guarded, and if you end up in one of those bunkers, especially on the day that I played where it was wet, all the bunkers were hard. It was super windy. It was not a leisurely round of golf. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. And when you're playing that links kind of style of golf, if you're gonna miss, you're gonna have to miss big. Because if you miss big,
Yeah,
then you're in the other fairway. You still got to look at the green and stuff like that. Whereas if you miss by a small margin, it goes fairway, fescue. That's it.
and it's fescues like I swear the fescue was like 8 inches deep when I played.
Yeah.
It
When
was.
when
I
I
still carded a 96 from. I think we're playing one tee back. I still carded a 96 on. It was super windy. It was a little rainy. It was over. It was not a nice day for golf.
Hey, that you're
And
playing links golf. That's how it's supposed to be. It was
I
super
know, I know.
windy
That's why
and
I
rainy.
felt to the. I said to the guy that I was playing with, I'm like, I feel like I'm playing in Scotland right now. This is insane.
Yeah.
But
Um.
it was a good day.
So we went from talking about Quail Hollow to just all the golf courses in our area.
Just every golf course in the area that any only people that golf in this area will know about.
Yep. Well, if you watch or if you pay attention to PGA Tour Canada, you would know Ambassador.
It's true.
Um.
Very true.
So we got Corey Connors, Mackenzie Hughes in the field for us
Big
Canadian.
Canadian
Adam
guys.
Hadwin.
Yeah, I saw him earlier.
Um,
I wish you could sort by.
Taylor Perth.
Can you sort by nationality in this?
I have no clue. I'm just looking on Google. If I had to pick a Canadian to win, I'm gonna go with Connors because
I was gonna say Connors as well.
Because unfortunately Mac hasn't shown anything. Perth has had a kind of a rough year.
Connors is doing better than I thought this year. He is 30th on the World Golf Rankings.
Who?
He's got one win this year. Corey Connors.
Corey Connors. Yeah, he's got one win. We talked about his win.
I know we talked about it. I have the memory of goldfish, but I'm more surprised at his World Golf Ranking.
Hey, someone's got to be the 30th best golfer in the
Someone's
world.
got to be the 30th ranked golfer in the world. Might as well be Corey Connors.
Yeah. So what I was doing some research. Mike Weir was like highest point in the world golf rankings was ranked 3.
That's pretty solid.
And it was like Tiger and Phil in front of him.
Yeah, that's a tough. He was in a tough era to get to number one.
Yeah,
because you had like every heavy hitter, every legend. I feel like every legend was playing when he was playing.
Okay, so are we ready to make our picks for this week? Since we have.
I'm ready. I already have them picked out. Yeah, we have barely talked about this week.
Okay, so you won last week. So who's your first pick?
My first pick, I'm going to change it up from what I have written down, and it's weird to say that this is a risk. I'm going to take Rory.
Well, because we remember what happened last time someone picked Rory, right?
Yes, I do remember what happened last time someone picked Rory, but he's had some time off. He's recuperated. He's ready to go, and he has the course record at Quail Hollow. So if anything, he's going to go low, right?
Potentially. So that's your top 10.
That's my top. That's my heavy hitter.
Hey, Spieth is up in the top 10 now.
Yes, sir. I have I have Jordan Spieth picked on my notes, but after seeing, I was picking between Jordan Spieth and Rory, but after seeing Rory held the course record, in terms of going low, I figured I'd pick Rory because Jordan is known to shit the bed every once in a while.
Yes. I just want to make sure I'm making the right decision, so we're going to look up the Wells Fargo from last year. Yeah, I'm going to go Max Homa.
Max, he has a good history at Quail Hollow, does he not?
Yes, he does.
So, yeah, that's good. That's a really good pick.
Yeah, he's 7th in the world right now?
Yes, I love Max. He's up there in my top favorite golfers purely because he's the people's golfer, I think. Like Joel Damon, how do you say it? Joel Damon?
Joel Damon.
Joel Damon, he's he's the people's golfer, but Max Homa is like the social media people's golfer. I think.
It's kind of like The Rock is the people's champ,
Yeah.
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 How would you say Johnny Damon's name if you like looked it up? Would you say Johnny like Dahlman?
Johnny who?
Johnny Damon. He played baseball a while ago.
Not a baseball guy.
Because I believe it's spelled the same way.
No, Joel's name is like DH. There's an H in there, and it's DHAMEN. I think it is DAHMEN.
A-H.
Dahlman.
Hamen. Dahamen?
But I don't think you say the H.
Damon.
I'm just gonna go with Dahlman. I'm just concrete right now. Joel Dahlman. Done. Until he personally corrects me, it's Joel Dahlman.
I'm gonna YouTube this. Have him pronouncing his own name.
Okay. While you do that, I'm going to lock in my middle pick. Not my underdog, but my middle pick is going to be Jason Day. He's had good history at Quail Hollow with the President's Cup, and he's just. I've got a feeling for my guy. I read a lot of articles have him picked to win, but I don't have him picked to win. I think either Jordan Spieth or Rory McIlroy is going to do it. But yeah, Jason Day is going to be. He's going to go low this weekend for sure.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to. Hold on, wait.
7 challenge. Taylor, I'm Joel Damon. This is the
Joel Damon.
Is it Damon?
Hey there, I'm Nick Taylor. I'm Joel Damon. This is the
It's Joel Damon. That's how he says it.
Okay. All right, Damon. Done.
You're gonna hear it twice on the podcast if you rewatch it or listen to it. You're gonna hear it twice because I had to listen to it again. So Justin Thomas is at 15.
Good pick.
I'm gonna go with my boy JT.
JT has never been a bad pick.
No, it's just he has a thing for winning the PGA Championship, and that's it. So
yeah. Don't pick him to win, but just pick him to do good.
Yeah.
For my sleeper underdog guy, we have to go with Cam Davis, another Australian. He's tee to green, T12 in par 5 scoring, 31st strokes gained, 2 top 10s in his last 3 stroke play competitions, and he finished T26 in last Wells Fargo. So, pretty good. He did lose at the President's Cup last year there, but he's gonna get his redemption this year. There's a lot of dead air.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking.
Think hard. You can cut all the thinking out.
I'm thinking because there's like Joel Damon. There's Tagala. Tagala's like what? What is he in the world right now? Is he too high?
No. As long as he's not in the top, he's in the top 50 for sure. Yeah, he's 24th.
Yeah, are we doing outside top 50? Is that what we're doing?
I think for our sleeper guys, I think outside the top 50.
Okay.
Because then if they're inside the top 50, they're not a sleeper. I'm checking to make sure that Cam Davis isn't inside the top 50. Cool, he's 68th.
Phil Mickelson is 73rd in the
Pick 'em.
world. Dustin
Pick 'em.
Johnson 78th. They're just falling, those live guys.
Gone.
They're falling and falling hard.
There's
Harry Higgs, what?
8,522. Who is the last ranked world golf ranked person?
Me. Did I see him in the field?
Who?
Oh no,
Sorry.
I never mind. I thought I saw Higgs, but Higgs is not in the field. It was Hogs.
Harry.
I'm gonna go Joel Damon.
This question about Joel. You remember when I gut picked him and he did pretty good? Didn't hurt. He shot like 1 under or something.
Yeah, he shot 1 under and missed the cut.
Yeah, but 1 under doesn't hurt.
Did you see him at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am this year, or did you hear what he said?
I did not.
So he hit a bad shot, and he asks his caddy, "So what's the cut?"
That's really good. Oh, I love that guy so much.
It
Oh, he's
is
so funny.
a case of he's basically the average golfer just on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he's just one of us that just made it. That's all he is.
He's got the mental state of every Sunday afternoon golfer.
I think him and Kevin Kisner are in the same boat.
Yeah.
They're just average guys like us that just got really good at golf.
Hey, I have a good mindset on the golf course.
Yes.
But like right now, I'm playing well. I'm just not scoring well, if that makes any sense.
That's
to
a
you.
good way to look at it.
So like I'm hitting the ball well. I'm rolling good putts. I'm not making too many bad mistakes or bad decisions. I'm just not scoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I had the one that I showed you carded 71, but like I made a bogey and then I had 2 birdies in the back 9. Like, I scored on 2 holes and I made 1 bad decision. Or it wasn't even a bad decision. I lipped out.
What's your lowest round?
64.
That's nuts.
It's also
My lowest round is an 88.
It was also from like further up tee box because of the age group I was playing in was further up in the tee box. So like, it's not from like a championship distance. It was like at like 53 or something. It was like really short, but it still
still counts.
Yeah, still counts.
Okay, so speaking of things still counting, everybody argues about the hole-in-one like asterisk next to it. So I want to get I know I have my opinions on it, and then we can talk about them, but I want your opinions first on the asterisk. So I saw one this past week where this guy got a hole-in-one in a large cup tournament. So it's when they just cut the cup larger. What do you think that even counts as a hole-in-one, or is just a hole-in-one with an asterisk next to it?
It doesn't matter how big the cup is. It's still like very lucky and very hard to do.
Exactly. I also agree. A bunch of people are saying, nope, it's not a hole-in-one, big cup, whatever. Like you're rolling it by within an extra inch every time. Like, no, that counts. You just have to say, I have a hole-in-one. It was in a big cup tournament, but I still put it in. Like, that's still incredibly impressive.
Did you card a 1 on the scorecard?
Hole-in-one.
Hole-in-one.
What about hole-in-ones in, like, there's this one scenario.
What is it, on a par 3 course? It's still a hole-in-one.
What about hole-in-one after like routine. Like you
Well,
hit
that's 3 off the tee.
it's 3 off the tee, but do you get to tell? And it's not a hole in one, but do you get to tell people you've had a hole in one? It's just this happened, or do you always have to say, "Yeah, I almost had a hole in one, but it was under these circumstances"?
I have a friend. He he teed the ball up, put it in the water on 9 at Kingsville on White. Okay? Re-tee from the tee. Holes out for par. I turned and looked at him and I was like, that's a great par.
Oh, you asshole! You asshole! Oh man, that's got to be the worst thing to happen to a golfer is to have a hole in one count as a par.
Well, it's not a hole in one, though. It's your
I know,
second
but
shot on the hole.
to hit a shot from the tee box and put it in the cup and have it count as a 3.
Yes.
That's got to be the worst.
I mean, you could be me and have had went eagle, hole in one, birdie, and then go double, triple to finish the round.
You've had a hole in one.
I have.
Nice.
7 lakes. 15.
That does suck, the aftermath of that.
Yeah. So I went eagle on 14 on the par 5. Then I went eagle again for the par 3. Then I went birdie on the par 4 right after. That stretch of holes was like the best stretch of holes I've ever played in my life. And then I went double, triple to finish.
Oof. Oof. You went eagle, that's 3.
No, eagle is 2.
2 under. I know.
4 under.
Nah. 2 under. 2 under. You just erased it.
Yeah.
You just completely erased it. That sucks.
Yep.
Speaking of rules, this is a good segue into the 10 rules we choose to ignore in everyday golf.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a great thing. And then we can get back to the other stories in golf, because there was something that I saw today that I just want to mention. And he probably won't even listen to the podcast, but, I just want to say congratulations to him. So we'll do that after.
Okay, alrighty. Well, yeah, we'll get that going. All right.
Okay.
Do you want to start them, or do you want me to start them?
Whatever.
I got them loaded up here on the website with the explanations under.
Me too. We're great minds think alike.
We'll alternate off. You start with 1, and then I'll go 2.
So 3-minute lost ball rule. So as like the real state, you have 3 minutes to find your lost or ball, or it's deemed lost. 3 minutes doesn't start until you get to where you perceive your ball to be. So say if I hit the ball, we could think it could be lost. I could let you walk up there and start looking for it, but it doesn't start until I get up there. Mm-hmm. But oftentimes, there's players that look for either it too long, everyday golfers, or there's the 1 minute guy. If he can't find his ball in a minute, and say screw it.
I more often than not fall into the 1 minute guy rule, because I just hate slow play, and I hate feeling like I'm holding everybody up. If I can't find it, like I'll walk up, I'll look around, I'll probably hit 3 minutes of looking, and then I don't care. I didn't know it was a rule until I read this list, but after a certain amount of time, it's like, okay, we got golf to play here. We can't sit here and look for the ball the entire time.
Yeah. I'm very bad at finding golf balls, so I'll look for 3 minutes to find the golf ball because I know where it lands. It's just I have terrible eyesight.
You just can't find it.
When it gets out there, it's like, okay, I can kind of see it land, and then I'm like, okay, where's the general direction of it? Because, I know, just it gets to the point where I can't see. But this is also a rule that it kind of comes back to, like, if we're having fun, where it's like, what rules do we break on a normal basis? There's a lot of times where it's like the 3 minute lost ball rule. We either play stroke and distance where we perceive it went out, so we don't have to go back to the tee and re-tee.
Yeah.
Or we call it the gallery rule. So if you're on the PGA Tour, would the gallery find the golf ball?
Oh, that's a really good rule.
Yeah. If you're on the tour and the gallery could find a golf ball, drop it, no penalty.
That's up here now. That's my new. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna shoot 76. But that's fair though, because in any like real tournament, they at least have four caddies. They're gonna be up there to steer ball land.
Some
Like
tournaments
unless you
have
like
four caddies.
visibly sprayed it into the woods, you're like that's gone. That's a penalty, obviously. But if it's up kind of like left rough, you don't know if it went in or went out. I'd say I like that rule.
Yeah. Okay, you're up next.
So this kind of also plays into your um, gallery rule. This is the way I think about it's kind of similar. This is called the Anderson Leaf rule. So the explanation is, especially in fall golf, if you lose your ball in the leaves, no penalty. Just drop one where you think it should be. You can't tie, but can't win the hole. Named after the esteemed Dave Anderson, in the late New York Times sports columnist who had a great waggle. I don't understand that last part, but I 100% have, especially since last year, have played by the leaf rule.
Yes, fall golf is a pain in the ass.
Oh my god, it sucks. You hit a good drive, it leaks a little bit to the rough, and it's just underneath a million leaves. There's no way you're finding that ball.
Yeah, especially at Kingsville where you have a ton of trees.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, Anderson Leaf rule. I've definitely played by it. I still do play by it, and it's saved me one many times.
This is the rule that you want to be in play when you're hitting 3 from the tee on a par 3. The mulligan.
Yes.
It was invented on the first tee of Wingfoot by a member named Mulligan. Always required a second drive to find the fairway, so a breakfast ball basically, and it's spread as common practice now.
I don't use my mulligans unless someone says, "Oh, you can hit another one."
Yeah,
like I don't hit a mulligan. No, 90% of the time I'm just playing casual golf. Unless if I hit a ball and it's just awful, unless the person I'm playing with goes, "Oh, don't worry about that one, hit another one," I'm gonna live with my shot.
yeah. Like I don't necessarily like when I'm playing, like practicing or whatnot. I don't necessarily hit mulligans. Like if I was to hit another ball, I would hit that ball and then go play the ball that I hit first.
I agree. Yeah.
So it would be like if I'm playing by myself or I'm playing in a twosome with someone and I don't know, I just overhook a wedge into a green.
Just
in my opinion,
trap hook it.
If I have a wedge in my hand, I shouldn't miss the green. So then I'll drop another ball and hit another wedge to actually do what I wanted to do. Then I'll go play my ball, make up and down, move on to the next hole type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we both have the same stance in the mulligans. It's kind of like they don't really. If you have one, it doesn't really count. You always got to play your first ball unless someone's just like just play the other ball or whatever.
Yes. This is my favorite rule.
Okay.
Right here. The next one.
All right. Failing to post.
No.
No, the gimme.
The gimme.
I went too far.
You went to 5.
The gimme. I went to 5. Around 4. The gimme. Legal in match play, but widely applied in stroke play club tournaments. What starts as no gimmies in the first few holes becomes inside the leather by the turn, and 3 and 4 footers when you shot yourself out of it. The guy I know as Pele goes immediately to stage 3.
Yep. I love a good old gimme.
There's no better feeling than walking up to a little bit of a grinder. You got a little bit of a putt. You gotta. It's gonna take a little bit of work, and someone goes, just pick it up.
My favorite is I'm off the green. I'm trying to make up and down, and I hit a good chip shot, a good pitch shot, or whatever, and the playing partner, whoever is with is like the ball stops and he just hits it back right to you. That's the best feeling.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I also play a lot of match play. So when going out with friends and playing with friends, match plays tend to be what I play. I don't really
me
play
too.
like stroke play against people because I'm going to play stroke play in a tournament, and I would kind of want some more where like risk or reward type scenarios.
And match play, like if you were not able to go out and play, match play was a lot more fun for the both of us because I can quadruple bogey a hole that you parred, but I'm still only down one.
Yeah.
And you can bogey a hole that I got a lucky par on, and then we're tied again.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an equalizer in the world of golf.
Yeah, and like the other thing with match play, you're not trying to keep a round together type thing. So if you make a double, like you said, it's not going to kill you. But you can also be very aggressive. And then taking how aggressive you were in match play and then kind of toning it back a little bit for stroke play, you'll start shooting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although if I'm playing someone for money,
oh, pardon?
if I'm playing someone for money, I will only give a gimme if it's like a kick in.
I will give gimmies if we have a similar distance for par.
Yeah.
Or like they have proven to me that they can make that putt type thing.
Yeah. Or if it's like you said, you're off the green, you chip it to like a foot. 100% it's a gimme. Like, yeah. Okay, continue. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. Number 5, failing to post. It's not a rule of golf, but if you have a handicap, you're expected to post every score to maintain an accurate handicap. Various players only post their lowest scores, and sandbaggers will only post the high ones.
I think you should post every handicap. I don't have a handicap personally, so this rule doesn't really apply to me, but
I don't post every score.
You don't?
No, because like I said, sometimes you're playing match play. Okay.
Well, yeah.
If I'm playing match play and I'm not going to go out and shoot like 75 because I'm going to have a double in there. I'm going to have stuff in there because I'm going out to shoot and try to be aggressive and win holes.
Yeah.
So I don't put those in. When I play 9 holes, I tend to not put them in because it's only 9 holes. And for the USGA, they combine 2 9-hole scores. Whereas I believe for Golf Canada, it's the same. But I would rather have a full 18 in there than 2 9s because they can combine 2 9-holes. If I shoot let's say if I shoot a 40 and then I shoot 39, they'll combine those two to give 18, and then it's like, okay, I shot 79.
Yeah.
Whereas I can go out the next day and play another 9 holes and shoot 2 under 34, and then have another 9 where it's something else, and then it's kind of where it would be. So majority of my 9-hole stuff I don't put in there. Tournaments I put in there. 18 holes I'll put in. Just kind of depends on what is happening. Because sometimes I go on the golf course and I'm playing 18 holes, but I'm not trying to score. I'm not trying to shoot. I'm just trying to work on something in general.
Yeah.
Whether it's making sure I'm hitting good putts. If I'm sometimes I'm going out on the course to practice and not necessarily play.
Yeah.
So it depends on the situation, I guess.
That's fair. I get on board with that. All right, number 6, carrying more than 14 clubs. I think 4-stroke penalty it says there for carrying more than 14 clubs. I don't even think I carry 14. I think I only have 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm missing something here. Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I only have 13 clubs.
I have
So
15 in my bag right now.
whoa! What's the extra club?
A different 60 degree.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
It's so at one point this off season before I went to Florida and left a 60 there, I had 3 60s in my bag for 16 clubs. So
Wow.
on the 60 degree wedges, or just wedges in general, they have the different bounce and grinds on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a 12 degree bounce D grind wedge from that's a Vokey SM9. So that's when it's wet and lush and thick, okay, basically. I had a 10 degrees of bounce for when it was a little bit firmer out, when the rough starts to get kind of burnt out and dry, because it's firmer, less bounce, because you're not going to bounce into it. And then I have the 8 degrees of bounce wedge in there too, because when it gets very firm, I use the 8 degree over the other ones. So it's just because I have different uses for each different wedge. That's why I had 3. I'm probably going to get a third one at the 10 degrees of bounce, just because depending on you go up to Toronto, some courses are a little bit spongier. So the spongier courses, you need less bounce because the more bounce is just going to not dig, it's going to bounce because it's spongy. Whereas here it's thick and lush, where if you have a sharper leading edge, you're just going to dig in. So depending on the course, you need different wedges. If you look at any of the guys on the PGA Tour, when they go to different golf courses, they have 4 or 5 different 60 degrees that they're working with, seeing if it works.
Interesting.
So
I didn't know. I knew that there was the bounce, all that stuff with the club, but I didn't know that it was changed that often.
yeah,
Cool.
on the PGA Tour, when they go over to the UK for the Scottish Open and the Open, majority of them will have a 4 degrees of bounce wedge because just of how burnt out it is.
Yeah.
Bermuda, they'll tend to have 8 degrees of bounce ish. When you're getting into that North Carolina kind of north, coming up into the northern United States, you'll start getting them having that 10 degrees of bounce, and then when they come up here for the Canadian Open, they'll have their 12, 14, whatever it works. But they kind of, depending on the grass and the condition of the course, they have these 4 different 60 degrees that they will interchange depending on what is needed. The other thing is some courses, they will need a different 60 degree just because of the bunkers and not even the fairway. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. You're number 7?
The consultant. What you hit?
I'm guilty of this.
Some guys take surveys on making club selections on par 3s. A good way to get around this in tournament play and stuff like that when you have chill guys is asking them how many donuts you had for breakfast.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's fine. How many donuts you have for breakfast, and then they tell you if they have 7, they say 7 donuts.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Because I'm assuming you obviously can't ask that on tee.
You can't. So you can only ask playing opponents for common knowledge. So yardage is considered common knowledge. So if someone zaps it, they can be oh yeah, it's this far.
Yeah.
You can't go into somebody's bag to look what they're hitting. So you can't look at their bag and be oh, he's hitting an 8 iron. Let's see.
Okay.
And you can't ask them. But the one thing that doesn't make any sense in this, and why are you asking someone, is each 7 iron is different.
Yeah,
Each of you have different swing speeds. Each of you have different ball flights. Each of you have different spin rates. Each of you have different distances in general. So, like, me hitting a 7-iron, like, what's your 180 club?
my 180 club would probably be like a 6.
Yeah, I'd carry my 7-iron 180.
Yeah,
So, if I tell you, oh, yeah, I hit 7-iron, and then you hit 7-iron, you're going to be, like, 10 yards shortish.
yeah. So makes no benefit. Sometimes I do ask, like if someone hits a good shot, I'll ask what club they hit just to get a gauge of what kind of player they are. Like if someone smokes a wedge out of the fairway, I'm like, what wedge was that? And they'll be like, I don't know, gap wedge or 56 or something. And then I'll be like, oh, I think fuck, they hit the ball a mile or they got good control or stuff. I like knowing what type of golfer they are based on what club they're hitting.
Yeah, that that makes sense. Because, like,
Because I never use it to gauge I'm gonna hit, what I'm gonna hit, because that messes with my psychological process of picking my club before I even walk up to the my ball.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's more so seen on par threes. Like, there was one time we were playing men's league, and I had honors for the ninth par three, and it was kind of like into wind downhill. So I hit 9-iron when I probably should have hit 8-iron because of that's how much it was in the wind, and I hit it, and they asked me what club I hit, and I was like, I hit a 9. Like, I already clubbed up, so club up 2, because we're all in the same men's league team, so we're not going to call each other on the rule. So they
yeah.
they clubbed up and hit the green, so I was the dummy basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, number 8, in the interest of public safety, or otherwise known as the foot wedge, moving your ball from a tree root or even a tree trunk without penalty might be a sensible rule. Oh god, I always yawn when I read. Let's start that one over. 8 in the public of Jesus. Number 8 in the interest of public safety. Moving your ball from a tree root or even a tree trunk without penalty might be a sensible rule. Same with cleaning mud off your ball in the fairway. If you remove a loose impediment and your ball moves, disregard the penalty. Dropping incorrectly on the golf hole side of a paved cart path instead of the actual nearest point of relief is acceptable. So is taking relief from immovable objects like irrigation boxes as metal interference, as well as disregarding difference between red and yellow stakes and taking the more favorable drop from water hazards as if they are all lateral. I do this all the time.
I do too.
I always say, I'm not playing for money. I'm not playing out here to get hurt or hit a ball off a tree and hit myself, or like just you're out there to have a good time. Give yourself the best opportunity to have a good time.
So, like I said, there's a lot of times where stroke and distance comes into play. So if it's like white stakes versus red stakes, stroke and distance, like, we're not going back to the tee.
No.
If my ball's literally sitting on a tree root, I'm not hitting the ball on top of the tree root. PTSD, hurt wrists. We're not doing that. In a tournament, I will have to do it, but like in an everyday round, I'm not risking getting hurt doing that.
That'll be dumb.
So, yeah. I mean, the majority of the time,
You've mentioned
you don't even measure 2 club lengths. You kind of just drop it.
I take a ball out of my bag, I throw it up in the air, and then it goes dunk, 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 and then wherever it lands is where I hit. That's pretty much how I do it. All right, 9. You mentioned this.
Knee?
No, I don't. I just toss the ball wherever the ball lands. The ball lands.
Stroke and distance on out of bounds. It's legal now for the local rules to be. Local rule is observed.
Woof.
I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry.
We both just had strokes on the last ones we had to read.
We've been doing this for years. Only hitting the 4th stroke. Pals look at OB and water hazards. drop and hit 3. It saves us going back to the tee in slow play.
I've always done that.
It's
I've
literally
always
what we
done.
talked about, where it's like white stakes versus red stakes. Like, if you go into the water, so if you go into the water hazard off the tee, you have, like, you can re-tee, you can go point of entry, or lateral, I believe. Not lateral, in line with the pin. So you have it's like the line that it crossed, so the point of entry, and then the line with the pin is from the point of entry where it crosses the line of the pin, you can go back on that line too. But, yeah, stroking distance. Like, even OB, like, there's been tournaments where I've played in, and it was like any untamed grass is considered OB, and you don't have to hit it over there, stroking distance. So that was like the local rule for the golf course. And untamed just meant like they didn't cut it. So like your fescue at Ambassador there, that would have been untamed grass, and that would have been stroking distance.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
All right, number 10. Teeing off in front of the markers. My second favorite rule. I don't know if I need to read this. It's a bunch of blah. But
You mean this
teeing
is
up in front
against
of the
the
markers.
rules? You can't tee up in front of the tee markers?
You don't tee up in front of the tee. I won't call someone on it, but like it's common sense. Tee off behind the tee markers.
The one thing that bugs me is when I like line up and tee up put my ball in line with the tee box on the left, like the tee mark on the left, and then I get ready and I look at the tee box on the right, the tee marker on the right, and then it's like I'm in front of the ball.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
I'm
no,
in line with it here,
worse.
but I'm not in line with it there. It's like, well, can you do it straight, please?
What's going on here? Yeah, that's the worst when you walk up. When I first started golfing, I would always I'd go to where the tee markers were, and then I would line up so that my shot would go perpendicular to them. But a lot of times the tee markers weren't aimed down the middle of the fairway; they were aimed way off somewhere else. So I'd hit a good shot, and I'm like, what? Why did that go so far the other way? And the person I was playing with would go, well, I mean, the tee markers are just pointed that way, so you kind of just line up the tee markers. Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
There is another rule where you can't tee off a meter back. You only you have from the tee markers to like a meter back to the tee markers. Is that right?
It's like 2 club lengths.
Okay, but still, you can't tee off all the way back.
No, but why would
I don't know why you'd want to, but
I mean, if you have to get the ball up and over a tree, so like if the tee blocks are like on one red at Kingsville, if the tee box is up on that platform there, it's harder to get the ball over to the trees. So that's why that's a hole where you would tee it back, because you got to get it up the hill and over the tree kind of to get in a good position.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's it. That's it for those the 10 rules. That was fun. I learned a lot.
Yeah, I put another one in there for next week. So we got it's like the 7 sins of slow play.
Ah, yes. It just should be Cantley's name over and over and over again.
Cantley, DeChambeau, Cantley, DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit back now to golf now. Brooks Koepka, congratulations, man. He's having a baby. They announced it today.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they announced it today. Congratulations, Brooks Koepka.
He's never going to hear this,
Masters.
But congratulations to him anyways.
He didn't win the Masters, but I mean, he did win the dating pool. Have you seen his wife?
Yeah. I'm not going to say you dog because, it's as expected.
Yeah, it's expected for Koepka. It's not like your face is destroyed and you need braces really badly. You're still wearing braces.
Oh my God. Your face is destroyed.
But
You know what? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Kepka's having a baby.
Yeah. Congrats, Kepka.
Yeah. And then another story inside the golf world. Monday is match play qualifier for myself.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I don't get a practice round because apparently they're not doing practice rounds for this. So I'm going in blind to this golf course pretty much.
That's less exciting.
Yeah, I have I have my yardage book that I kind of have come up with a game plan just based on like Google Maps view and kind of what the yardage book is showing me. What the game plan would be, like hitting off the tee and stuff. So yeah. So that we got that, and then on Tuesday I'm playing the Cherry Hill, whatever it's called. It doesn't even really have a name. It's just the Cherry Hill tournament. I think it's actually Golf Away Tours tournament. PTA. Where is it? 5 days, 10 hours, and 52 minutes till I'm playing Cherry Hill.
Exciting stuff.
Yes. Oh, apparently I'm trying to join the tour. I'm not trying to join the tour. I'm already playing on the tour.
There you go.
Events. That's where I'm looking for. Schedule. So it's the Golf Away Tours Championship. That's what it's called.
Cool.
At Cherry Hill.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yep.
Nice.
So Golf
Exciting.
Away Tours is like a travel agency.
Nice. In other news for us, before we wrap it up here, because I think we're coming to an end, I'm going to be starting a new series on our TikTok. I'm sure you've seen, if you're watching it on YouTube, you've seen me. I keep fiddling with this putter here. I got this beauty ping answer 3. I don't know, you probably can't read it.
Yeah, I put it up a little.
Off of market. Oh Jesus, I'm hitting the roof. Off of Marketplace for $10. That's a pretty phenomenal steal, and I'm gonna be fixing it up. I'm gonna refurbishing it. I might sell it. I might keep it, depending on how much I like it. But this thing's gonna be. You'll be able to brush your teeth in the bottom of this thing by the time I'm done with it. So look for that on TikTok. I might make a full YouTube video out of it. I'm not sure yet, but that's what's coming up with myself at least.
We're playing Saturday morning.
We are playing Saturday. Our first time. We've done 5 hour-and-a-half episodes of the podcast together. This will be our first time meeting.
Yes, it's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, so we're playing 18 Saturday morning. If we end up not having any other members in the group with us, then I might just say, "Hey, we're bringing out the camera for the back nine." We can see how it
camera for, or just a hole, like one hole.
Yeah. Well, if we can do a whole back nine video, we can do a back nine like I don't know, scramble or something cool for the page. So if we record a video, the podcast channel will get another video that is not a podcast. It will be some sort of video.
Or
it might
end up on TikTok, dude. Yeah, a scramble would be fun.
Yeah, we're going off of red, so that means we're playing white. So white would be a fun scramble 9.
That would be cool. That'd be a lot of fun.
Do you got a unpopular golf opinion that we are going to talk about?
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite part of this whole fucking thing. I almost forgot about it.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm off my game today.
You're off the game. You're too worried about your ping answer.
I'm too excited. That's literally it. I'm too excited to fix this club up because it's beautiful. So I got it. I saw it on Marketplace. I'd been scrolling, and I just refreshed, and I saw it. And I like ping. I don't have any ping club. This is my first ping club that I've owned, and I like I don't know. I like the ping. I don't know. I like the ping vibe or whatever. But I really like old clubs. I like the vintage style. I like that era of golf. And I saw it. It was $10, and I just had to. I had to buy it. I went and I left. I didn't leave work immediately, but I left work that day, drove right to the guy's house, and picked it up, and I just can't wait to get my hands on some polish, get this thing all shined up, get the grip back in order. There's a little rattle inside it that I got to take out, so I got to take the head off. It's gonna be a whole thing. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm so pumped for it.
I'm excited to see how it looks.
It's gonna
I
be you on Saturday. It's not gonna look that great. It's just gonna have the rattle gone. But by the time you see it the next weekend or the next time we play, it's gonna be so beautiful because I'm gonna spend a whole week polishing it.
If you need a putter grip, I know someone that's got some putter grips for you.
So the cool thing about this is it still has. I think this is the original Golf Pride Tour wrap on it from when it came out. I'm not. I got to verify if it's the original or not because it doesn't have ping on it, but it is an old tour wrap. But if it's not the original, I'm just gonna get a new grip on it. But if it is, it's got to stay. Has to stay.
If it's not the original grip, I have a Garson Quad Tour pistol that you can put on there, and you can join the Garson gang.
Sure, I'll join the Garson gang. If it's not the original, I gotta do a little bit of digging to find the original grip.
Yes.
Okay, unpopular golf opinion.
This one, okay, I found one. This one I kind of
Okay.
perked my eyes. The U.S. Open should never be played on a private course. Go.
I'm looking at that one right now. Yes, I kind of agree.
What about the U.S. Open at Wingfoot?
Oh, I disagree.
So,
Wingfoot's such a fun course to watch.
the problem is there's so many good golf courses in America that are private.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whereas like you go overseas to England, there's a lot of there's private clubs, but then there's also a lot of semi-private. So
Mm-hmm.
it's still public play, it's stuff like that. Whereas like kind of in the States, it's public or private. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I
No,
mean, especially in
it's
those
tough.
touristy destinations where a U.S. Open would be held, it's usually public or private. That's it. I'm guessing in Middle America where there's not a lot of stuff, there's some semi-private. Some places have memberships, but it's not the same as like whatnot. So I would say I don't think it matters. It's the U.S. Championship.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be played on one of the best golf courses in the U.S. So the fact that there's so many of these amazing golf courses that are private golf courses, and they just kind of have to happen. Like Country Club of Brookline, great golf course, private. Olympic Club, private. Then you got next year, the U.S. Open's at Pinehurst. That's public. You got Pebble Beach is public. Honestly, they should probably play at Spyglass Hill. Spyglass Hill is public, but you know.
I only think that it should be only on public courses just because it is the Open. Like it's the whole concept behind it is that everybody should be able to play it or have a chance to play in it.
Yeah.
And so having it on those private courses, especially maybe the U.S. Open itself, not needing to be on a private course. Like the U.S. Open itself can be played on a private course, but the amateurs, like to qualify and stuff to get in, shouldn't be played on a private course because then it offers an upper hand to the people who are members. And
But majority of the people going to qualify for the U.S. Open, usually they have some pull somewhere and they can get on the course beforehand.
that's
Like,
fair.
You don't think Joel Damon could call up anyone at any of the local regional qualifiers and be like, "Hey, I want to come for a practice round," and they'll be, "Sure, come on."
Yeah, but that's Joel Damon. We landed on Damon, right?
Yeah, I said Joel Damon because he's the 70th best golfer in the world. Why can't it be him?
Yeah.
But like,
But what about like your Joe Blow that has no pull?
he's Does he know? Does he have a swing coach?
Maybe.
He probably does because he's at least a 2 handicap because you have to, or no, you have to be under a 1.8 handicap to register for the U.S. Open qualifiers.
Yeah, he probably does have a swing coach.
So he probably does have a swing coach. The swing coach is probably under the PGA. That swing coach has pull. He can call and be like, "Hey, I have a student coming. Can we get him on for a practice round?" Majority of the time, they'll say yes.
That's fair. I don't know. I still think it just the Open. It just kind of defeats the purpose of it being called the Open. If that's the case, then it should be called like the U.S. Championship or something.
Well,
Just get rid of the Open.
It is the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, but
It is the
Open,
USGA Championship, and it's just called the U.S. Open.
But then they should just call it the USGA Championship instead of Open, because if it's Open, then it's I don't know. I definitely see what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but part of me just feels like the Open should be like there should be no private part about it.
I mean, I don't know.
That again, that's what it's unpopular opinions.
Yeah, I like. The other thing is I don't know if the public golf courses, unless you're talking Bethpage Black, I don't know really like those. You have a handful of those public courses that would have the facilities to put on a good golf tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So you got like
That's also fair.
those resort courses, which really the resort courses are kind of private because the only way you can get a tee time is almost if you're on the resort. So you got Bandon, you got Pinehurst, and you got Pebble Beach. Those three, the only real opportunities to get a tee time is pretty much if you're at the resort. So then that kind of privatizes it too.
A little bit.
But yeah, it makes sense that it's the open should be open to all type thing.
Yeah, but again, it's the unpopular opinions. You get both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we've disagreed on that non-popular.
I think so. I think it is the first time we disagreed. It's a monumentous moment.
Maybe the other one we disagreed on was the Scotty Cameron.
Yeah, we disagreed on that one.
But it is kind of a cult. I can agree with the cult part, but they're the best putters I've ever used. So,
well, I'll one day I'll have one, but for now I'm gonna stick with my good old thrifted clubs.
I only have 2 Scotty Camerons. I need a third.
I only have 2 putters.
I have 3 putters. One's broken. I found it in the trash at Seven Lakes, and I just haven't put a new shaft in there yet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm all wrapped up. If you're all wrapped up.
I think I'm all wrapped up too. So, thank you guys for watching, listening, subscribing. We'll be back next Wednesday. I'll have 2 tournaments to talk about. So, if I win, we'll be popping champagne in bottles.
Popping bottles
with some models. If not, we're going to talk about how depressing the rounds were.
All right. It's either be popping bottles or popping antidepressants, either one.
Yeah.
We're going to be popping something.
Popping something. So, stay tuned for that. Anything else on your side?
Keep an eye out on our TikTok and Twitter. I haven't made any tweets or done anything on Twitter yet, just because I'm still waiting on what I don't know. I'm lazy. There's no excuses. I haven't done it yet just because I haven't thought about it. But keep an eye on our Twitter. I'm going to start getting more active on that, and keep an eye on TikTok for this putter restoration. That's going to be phenomenal.
Which would also be a good thing to post on Instagram too.
That's true. It'll be on all our socials.
Yes,
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Instagram, maybe a YouTube short here or there too.
Yeah, YouTube shorts.
So
people can see it in like 6 months.
Yeah. So we're trying to pump up some more content too to get some more views and more eyes. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast here on YouTube or on any of the other platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts. I think there's another one. It's on there somewhere. Thank you guys once again, and see you next Thursday.
Peace.